What's all this stuff for?
Honey, it's Blanche's birthday.
She here?
In the bathroom.
Washing out some things?
I reckon so.
How long she been in there?
All afternoon.
Soaking in a hot tub?
Yes.
Temperature 100 on the nose, and she soaks herself in a hot tub.
She says it cools her off for the evening.
And you run in and get her some Cokes, I suppose, and serve them to Her Majesty in the tub? Sit down here a minute.
Stanley, I've got things to do.
Sit down. I've got the dope on your big sister, Stella.
Stanley, stop picking on Blanche.
That girl calls me common.
Lately, you've been doing all you can think of to rub her the wrong way, Stanley. And Blanche is sensitive, and you've got to realize that Blanche and I grew up under very different circumstances than you did.
So I've been told, and told, and told, and told. You know she's been feeding us a pack of lies here.
No, I don't, and...
Well, she has, however, but now the cat's out of the bag. I found out some things.
What things?
Things I already suspected, but now I got proof from the most reliable sources, which I have checked on.
Lower your voice.
Some canary bird, huh?
Now please tell me quickly what you think you found out about my sister.
Lie number 1. All the squeamishness she puts on us. You should just know the line she's been feeding to Mitch. He thought she had never been more than kissed by a fellow. But Sister Blanche is no lily. Ha ha! Some lily she is.
What have you heard and who from?
Our supply man down at the plant has been going through Laurel for years, and he knows all about her, and everybody else in the town of Laurel knows all about her. She is as famous in Laurel as if she were a president of the United States, only she is not respected by any party. This supply man stops at a hotel called the Flamingo.
Say it's only a paper moon, sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
What about the Flamingo?
She stayed there, too.
My sister lived at Belle Reve.
This is after the home place had slipped through her lily-white fingers. She moved to the Flamingo, a second-class hotel which has the advantage of not interfering in the private social life of the personalities there. The Flamingo is used to all kinds of ongoings, but even the management of the Flamingo was impressed by the Dame Blanche. In fact, they were so impressed by Dame Blanche that they requested her to turn her room key for permanently. This happened a couple of weeks before she showed here.
It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
What contemptible lies.
Sure, I can see how you would be upset by this. She pulled the wool over your eyes as much as Mitch's.
It's pure invention. There's not a word of truth in it. And if I were a man and this was a creature, I'd dread to invent such things in my presence.
Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny parade.
Honey, I told you I thoroughly checked on the stories. Now wait till I finish. The trouble with Dame Blanche was that she couldn't put up her act anymore in Laurel. They got wised up after 2 or 3 dates with her, and then they quit. And she goes on to another. The same old line, same old act, same old hooey. But the town was too small for this to go on forever, and as time went by, she became a town character, regarded as not just different, but downright loco. Nuts. And for the last year or 2, she has been washed up like poison. That's why she's here this summer, visiting royalty, putting all this act, because she's practically told by the mayor to get out of town. Yes, did you know there was an army camp near Laurel, and your sister's was one of the places called Out of Bounds?
It's only a paper moon, just as phony as it can be, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
Well, so much for her being such a refined and particular type of girl, which brings us to lie number 2.
I don't want to hear it anymore.
She's not going back to teach school. In fact, I'm willing to bet she never had no idea of returning to Laurel. She didn't resign temporarily from the high school because of her nerves. No siree, Bob. She didn't. They kicked her out of that high school before the spring term ended, and I hate to tell you the reason that step was taken. A 17-year-old boy she got mixed up with.
It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be.
This is making me sick.
The boy's dad learned about it and got in touch with the high school superintendent. Boy, oh boy, I'd like to have been in that office when Dame Blanche was called on the carpet. I'd like to have seen her trying to squirm out of that one, but they had her on the book good and proper that time, and she knew that jig was all up. They told her she had better move on to some fresh territory. Yup, it was practically a town ordinance passed against her.
Stella,
Yes, Blanche?
give me another bath towel to dry my hair with. I've just washed it.
Yes, Blanche.
What's the matter, honey?
Matter? Why?
You have such a strange expression on your face.
Oh, I I guess I'm a little tired.
Why don't you bathe too, as soon as I get out?
How soon is that going to be?
Not so terribly long. Possess your soul and patience.
It's not my soul, it's my kidneys I'm worried about. Well, what do you think of it?
I don't believe all those stories, and I think your supply man was mean and rotten to tell them. It's possible that some things he said were partly true. There are things about my sister that I don't approve of. Things that cause sorrow at home. She was always flighty.
Flighty?
But when she was young, very young, she married a boy who wrote poetry. He was extremely good looking. I think Blanche didn't just love him, but she worshipped the ground he walked on, adored him, and thought him almost to be fine and to be human. But then she found out
What?
this beautiful and talented young man was a degenerate. Didn't your supply man give you that information?
All we discussed was recent history. That must have been a pretty long time ago.
Yes, it was a pretty long time ago.
How many candles are you putting on that cake?
I'll stop at 25.
Is company expected?
We asked Mitch to come over for cake and ice cream.
I wouldn't be expecting Mitch over tonight.
Why?
Mitch is a buddy of mine. We were in the same outfit together, two 41st engineers. We worked in the same plant and now on the same bowling team. You think I could face him if...
Stanley Kowalski, did you repay with that? Is Mitch through with her?
Wouldn't you be if...
I said, is Mitch through with her?
But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
No, I don't think he's necessarily through with her. Just wised up.
Stanley, she thought Mitch was going to marry her. I was hoping so too.
Well, he's not going to marry her. Maybe he was, but he's not going to jump in a tank with a school full of sharks. Now, Blanche, oh Blanche, can I please get in my bathroom?
Yes, indeed, sir. Can you wait 1 second while I dry?
Having waited an hour, I guess 1 second ought to pass in a hurry.
And she hasn't got her job? Well, what will she do?
She's not staying here after Tuesday. You know that, don't you? Just to make sure, I bought her a ticket myself. A bus ticket.
In the first place, Blanche wouldn't go on a bus.
She'll go on a bus and like it.
No, she won't. She won't, Stanley.
She'll go, period. P.S. She'll go Tuesday.
What'll she do? What on earth will she do?
Her future is mapped out for her.
What do you mean?
Blah, 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 blah.
Hey, Canary Bird, Toots, get out of my bathroom!
Oh, I feel so good after my long hot bath. I feel so good and cool and rested.
Do you, Blanche?
Yes, I do. So refreshed. A hot bath and a long cold drink always gives me a brand new outlook on life. What is it?
Right, nothing has happened, Blanche.
You're lying. Something has.